Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Continuing with the Vaishnava Varta, beginning with today, Varta 97, day 122. The story of a husband and wife, both Kshatriyas, who lived in Gujarat and who sold a sari to purchase supplies. Sab Vaishnavanko Sadaro Saprem Jai Shri Krishna. The story of a husband and wife, both Kshatriyas, who lived in Gujarat and who sold a sari to purchase supplies. Bhav Prakash. They are devotees of sattvic nature. In the eternal Leela, the man's name is Rambala and the woman's name is Shambhala. They are both close Sakhis to Sri Chandravali-ji. They manifest from Subhaga and are thus forms of her divine loving sentiment. One day, they were both born into Kshatriya families in one village in Gujarat. Their parents decided to marry them to each other. They married them when they were about 9 years old. After quite a few years, all their parents died. Around that time, Sri Gosaiji was on his way to Dwarka. He made a camp in the village where these two lived. He camped near a lake, and soon all the Vaishnavas of the village came there to have his sight. The couple asked them, "What is going on today? Why are you all going towards the lake?" The Vaishnavas replied that Sri Gosaiji had come there and was camping near the lake. "We are all going to see him. You two can come with us if you wish. He is the Lord incarnate." The couple piped up, "Okay, we will come with you too. We would like to have the holy sight of the Lord. Please take us with you." The couple accompanied the Vaishnavas to Sri Gosaiji's camp. They were both astonished by his presence, and he granted them both sight of his transcendental form. The couple spoke, "O Maharaj, we have come to take shelter in you. Please bless us by accepting us. We are most fortunate that we have seen you today." Sri Gosaiji told them, "You are divine souls. Please bathe and come back to me. Then I shall accept you as my disciples." The two went to bathe and came back in a state of purity. He initiated them with the Lord's name and Brahma Sambandh, and then commanded them to serve the Lord. "I will give you some seva. Serve him with much love." As a great blessing, Sri Gosaiji presented them with the Swarupa of Sri Madan Mohanji, together with the Swarupa of Sri Swaminiji. He instructed, "Serve them very carefully, and also serve any Vaishnava who might come to you. Associate with Vaishnavas." He then taught them all the ways of Seva and proceeded to Dwarka. The husband and wife served the Lord very nicely. The man would sell wood that he collected and purchase supplies with the money he made. He saved half of everything he earned. His wife would do the cooking, and after bathing he would serve Sri Thakurji and make his adornment. She would then offer the Lord his midday meal. After the lunchtime Arati service, when Sri Thakurji has settled down to a little rest, they would serve prasad to Vaishnavas and only partook of prasad afterwards. The husband would save half of his income, and when he had collected 1 whole rupee, he brought his wife a new sari to wear. The next day, 8 Vaishnavas all came together to their house. They greeted them with the Lord's name and very respectfully seated them in their home. The husband then asked his wife, "What can we do now? The Vaishnavas have arrived and we must serve Mahaprasad to them, but there is nothing left." The wife said, "Please sell the sari and buy some supplies." He did just that. The wife then made the preparations and went to sit in the inner room. Then she said, "I will stay sitting on the inside room, and you accept the offerings back as Mahaprasad and feed the Vaishnavas." The husband bathed and brought the offerings out of their Sri Thakurji's temple, then allowed all those Vaishnavas to have his holy sight. He then settled Sri Thakurji down to rest and addressed the guests, "Please now partake of Mahaprasad." They replied, "Please get your wife to come and serve out the Mahaprasad, then we shall partake." The husband said, "Some ladies are shy. That is why she has not come out to serve you." The Vaishnavas said, "We are all Vaishnavas here. Let the lady of the house come to share out the prasad, and then we shall all partake. Vaishnavas are all brothers and sisters." The husband went to his wife and said, "If you do not come out, they will not partake of prasad." She said, "There is no difference between the Lord and his devotees. I do not have anything to wear. If the Vaishnavas can see me like this, then the Vaishnavas should also not feel embarrassed. I will come." She was on the point of leaving the room when Sri Swaminiji came there bearing a sari. Sri Thakurji asked her, "Where are you going?" She replied, "One of my devotees is about to be embarrassed, so I am going to save her from that. If I do not save her dignity, then who will?" The divine couple then gave the wife their direct experience in that very room. Sri Swaminiji gave her a sari, and Sri Thakurji draped his pitambara, or yellow cloth, around her shoulders. She had the holy sight of Sri Thakurji and Sri Swaminiji in that very room. The wife then came out of the room and went to start serving Mahaprasad to the Vaishnavas. She seated them all and fed them. They all remained there that night. When they had finished all their work, the husband and wife came and sat down with them. They all sat to praise the Lord's form and pastimes. When the Vaishnavas lay down to take rest, the couple massaged their feet. In the morning, the Vaishnavas took their leave of the couple and set off whilst remembering the Lord's name. They went to Gokul. Bhav Prakash. The moral of this story is that the Lord is soon pleased by the devotee who knows the spiritual form of Vaishnavas. Thus the path of a Vaishnava is not easy. She had to sell her clothes to buy supplies with which to feed them. But why would the Lord allow his devotee's dignity to be compromised? He went to grant his holy sight in that very room. Vaishnavas must always be true to their Lord, and then he will always grace them. It was in this way that they adhered to their proper righteous path. Thus concludes Varta 97, the story of the husband and wife who were the recipients of Sri Gosaiji's great grace and accomplished Vaishnavas. There is truly no end to their tale. Continuing with Varta 98, the story of Ajaba Kumbhari Bai, who lived in Simhad village in Mewar. This is Abha Prakash. This is a devotee of Rajas disposition. In the eternal Leela, her name is Rupa Adini. She is very attached to Sri Thakurji's beautiful form. She is not able to tolerate separation from her beloved Lord as she manifests from Subhaga and is thus a form of her divine loving sentiment. Part 1. Ajay Kumbhari Bai had been widowed as a child and lived with Mirabai, who was a resident of the same village, Simhad. They lived together in the same house. Once Sri Gosaiji came to Simhad, he set up a camp in a garden. Mirabai and Ajay Kumbhari Bai went to have his sight. Ajay Kumbhari recognized him to be the Lord himself and cherished a desire to become his disciple. When they met him and offered a donation, Mirabai turned to leave. Sri Gosaiji refused to accept her donation. One of his disciples explained to her, Sri Gosaiji only accepts donations from his own disciples, and returned the donation to her. Ajaba Kumbhari Bai told Mirabai that she would like to become Sri Gosaiji's disciple, but Mirabai forbade her. They both went home. Ajay Kumbhari Bai experienced great separation from Sri Gosaiji and fell into a fever. Mirabai asked her what was up. You were all right up till just now. Ajay Kumbhari Bai said, I wish to become Sri Gosaiji's disciple. When I saw him, I had the holy sight of Sri Krishna himself. That is why I am burning up. Mirabai said, whatever you want. Then Ajay Kumbhari Bai pulled herself together and took her request to Sri Gosaiji to initiate her with the Lord's name. Sri Gosaiji did just that. Ajay Kumbhari Bai then invited Sri Gosaiji to her home. There he cooked some special preparations, and after he had offered them all to Sri Thakurji, Sri Gosaiji partook of the prasad. Then the disciples that had accompanied him also partook of prasad, and then Ajay Kumbhari Bai also partook. As soon as she tasted the prasad, she attained pure knowledge of the devotional path. Later, at the time of the Uttapan service, Sri Gosaiji was sitting comfortably giving divine discourse. He was talking about Brahma Sambandh initiation. Ajay Kumbhari Bai heard this and supplicated Sri Gosaiji to please grant her this initiation. We take rest from this Varta here today, and we'll continue tomorrow with the story of Ajay Kumbhari Bai. So, आज के आनंद की जय हो, सब वैष्णवों को जय श्री कृष्ण, जय जय श्री राधे.